Hello, I'm Sunil.
And I'm Dean, and today we will be discussing what we believe to be some of the most wonderful films to ever grace the screens.
Welcome to the premiere opinion of Sunil and Dean. Something to point out is that these are only currently our favorites.
Yes, lists like these are ever-changing as opinions change and new movies are released.
Let us now discuss each of our top 5 most awesome motion pictures.
Also, be aware of possible spoilers ahead. My personal number 5 is Whiplash. This movie stars J.K. Simmons.
Released in 2014.
Yeah, it was in 2014. And it's about a band director, and he's trying to teach this drummer with insane potential. He's trying to teach him in like a very harsh manner too. He just kind of transforms him into this monster of just complete skill on the drum set.
Wow.
And it basically follows the development of Andrew Neiman, that's the drummer, and how he, all the hardship he does to try to practice more and get more experience on the drum set. Well, also he's like bleeding at some points too because he's like punching the drum set in anger because he can't.
So why do you think this makes the top 5?
Well, it's because I think it's it's probably one of the, it's just very excellent in terms of cinematography. The acting is amazing. J.K. Simmons does an amazing role as the director, as the band director. And it's just very a very good movie overall.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Full Metal Jacket. It's a film that takes place mainly in 2 settings. One is a Marine boot camp in North Carolina, and the other is South Vietnam during the Vietnam War. It follows mainly one recruit. His name is Private Joker. He's played by Matthew Modine. And boot camp, he has this friend named Private Pile. But there's a very, very mean drill instructor. And this drill instructor was played by a real drill instructor who did actually serve during the war. And it was released in 1987 by Stanley Kubrick, who is an infamous director known for other films such as The Shining and 2001: A Space Odyssey. A very famous, accomplished director. This is one of his most accomplished movies, I think. And so the drill instructor pushes Pyle over the edge. And this results in some harmful occurrences. And this kind of sticks with Private Joker through the rest of the film. And it follows, maybe not the most accurate at times, but it follows many action sequences and sequences that just kind of portray the hardships of war. And in the end, there's a particularly strong scene because Mickey Mouse, he has an important role in this movie. He's kind of like this childhood innocence for all the soldiers facing this war. So they're all singing and marching about Mickey Mouse as they go through the destroyed on fire Hue City, where it was a battle that happened within Vietnam in 1968.
I've seen the movie too. It was very excellent. And why is it like your number 5?
It's my number 5 because I do like this genre. It's one of all these movies have somewhat different genres, I think. And this one is the genre of war. I think it's, in my opinion, the best movie about the Vietnam War. And I think it's number 5 because I really it's based off enjoyment. The story is really excellent, in my opinion. I just think it's a wonderful film. But I do think there's some that maybe somewhat better made. That's it. But It's very good.
Yeah, my personal number 4 is the movie Nope, directed by Jordan Peele in 2022. Essentially, it takes place in Agua Dulce, and there's this theme park, or this little theme kind of town called Jupiter's Claim. And essentially, the whole movie revolves around this brother and sister who had a distant relative that have good experience with handling horses, and they have a little house, or a big house, actually, pretty big house. And there's essentially the main antagonist of the movie is basically a UFO, but it's an organic UFO.
So it's like an alien.
It's like an alien UFO thing that's like composed of actual biomechanical stuff.
Interesting.
It's very odd. But essentially, Jupiter's claim in Agua Dulce is just attacked by this thing, and it just causes like various like anomalous things to occur. It basically like it floats over their house one time and it just stops. Like the rain just stops and it starts like dropping like items and metal things. It's very very cool.
This is incredible.
But then and they defeat it at the end by like baiting it with like faces because it like the whole thing is that if you look at it, it's like spectacle. It's like Louis, like Louis spectacle.
That's very awesome.
And they kill it with a big balloon.
Why do you think this is in the top 5?
I would say, I mean, I put it at number 4 because I like the cinematography in it. The soundtrack is awesome. The sound design is awesome too. When it sucks people up, there's like screams and stuff, and you can't tell if it's like excitement or if it's like fear. It just sounds very odd. The cinematography, yeah, like I said, it's good. The Jordan Peele is
funny man.
Yeah, very funny man, very interesting. He made the other movies like Us and Get Out and all those. Yeah, it's very.
Unfortunately, I have not seen this film, but I know Peele's a funny man and a great director, and I'll have to watch it. Personally, my number 4 is going to be The Shawshank Redemption, released in 1994. It's based off a novel, I believe, that was written by Stephen King, and it takes place in Maine during the 1940s, and it goes up until the 60s, because it follows a man named Andy Dufresne, who is... He's an economic lawyer type of fella, so he's a very smart man, educated, but he's accused of murdering his wife and another man after some evidence turns up that could hint at him, but he's falsely accused because he did not actually do it, but he's sentenced to life in prison in this very infamous, notorious prison called the Shawshank Infirmary or something like that. It's the Shawshank Prison, and it was filmed at a real historic prison, I believe in Ohio. But so it's a great set, this prison, and it follows Andy as he kind of rises through the ranks in the prison to help the warden and like the top enforcers and stuff with their economic troubles, taxes and whatnot. And he's kind of a stand-up guy, and he improves the prison. There's many inmates who just like aren't well educated, and he just kind of helps them all. And everyone in the prison grows to like him after. At the beginning, he was just kind of the new guy, and they treated him terribly. And it's a very brutal prison, that's for sure. After this, it has a twist, basically. So one day, they're doing the roll call and whatnot, and the warden realized that he's gone. So they start an investigation immediately. They go into the prison, and the warden discovers that behind a poster he had, because they were allowed to have posters in their cells, he, over the 20 years, by various means, he dug through the whole prison wall. And it's incredible. And then it goes into the retrospect of his escape, narrated by his friend Red, who's portrayed by Morgan Freeman. So he just makes this incredible escape, and it's just great cinematography. And it's like he pretty much has to break into a large sewage pipe, and it's during a rainy, stormy night. It's the previous night to when he escaped, and it's just incredible. He like crawls out, and he's like stolen a suit and stuff from the warden, so he has a disguise to wear, and he like forges a signature, and he like flees the country, and he's just gone. And then I think like a year later, his friend Red by Morgan Freeman, he escapes too, and then they reunite, and it's just wholesome and whatnot. It's a very awesome film. I really enjoyed it. It's great cinematography and a great story.
So why did you put it at number 4?
I put this movie at number 4 because its genre is very unique. I like this prison escape type of story. I think a lot of the characters are really good. They're all very different from each other. Andy Dufresne's a cunning man who kind of it seems very stand up, but in the dark, he's escaped. The warden, he's just menacing. He's very intimidating. Red, he's just kind of this old guy that's been there forever. Um, the other guy, it's very cool.
Mm-hmm. My personal number 3 is Pulp Fiction, directed by Quentin Tarantino. Um, it's essentially unique in the fact that it follows different characters, and kind of like almost like it goes like back and forth. It's very Tarantino-esque. He always says that where it just kind of goes back and forth. And his timeline of the story, it follows these two hitmen, John Travolta and Samuel L. Jackson. Um, it follows this boxer, played by Bruce Willis, and then it follows like this boss or like the hitman's boss, and then it follows like some other lady. I forgot what correlation she has. She has some correlation.
I believe this was also released in 1994.
94. And then they just like all the stories kind of converge. And at the beginning, it's like classic Tarantino where he just kind of like has like the ending at the beginning, and then he like builds more on it throughout the story, and it's just like kind of progresses. It's very interesting. Has like an iconic scene where it's like at the beginning where it's like a 2-minute walking shot
with the burger.
And then, there's like this like burger, and it's just like this kind of like tense scene where it's like and then the hitman says like, "I will strike down upon thee," and he shoots the guy, and it's very cool.
So why is this your number 3?
Because I like a lot of Quentin Tarantino movies, and I personally believe this is like one of his like basically just like his best, and it also is kind of like widely considered one of his best too. It's very interesting in the way it's just portrayed and stuff. Very good story.
Awesome. My number 2 is going to be a mafia classic, Goodfellas, released in 1990 by Martin Scorsese, who has made many mafia movies with similar actors such as Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci, both appearing in this film. And it's based off the memoir of Henry Hill, who was a real member of the New York Mafia, and he's the main character in the movie because he pretty much kind of released a lot of the secrets of the Mafia in his books after he became a rat, pretty much, which is what they're known as, I think that is. Anyways, the film follows Henry Hill's rise through the Mafia. He meets all these different, more higher-up members, and he just kind of... But then he has a lot of problems later on. Members, they make robberies and stuff, but then they get caught. They get whacked, as they call it in the movie. And it's just kind of very interesting. It's a genre I quite enjoy, and it's very different from other Mafia movies. Like I'd say like Casino, also by Martin Scorsese with the same actors. Goodfellas. Goodfellas is different. Yeah. It's very cool though.
Yeah, that's like on my watch list basically. It's like I'm probably gonna watch that next if I were to watch a new movie. I think it'll be very interesting. It's like 2.5 hours.
Well, it appears we've had a change in scenery, but this must go on. So anyways, what's your number 2?
My personal number 2 is The Adventures of Tintin. Personally, I like the movie a lot. I've seen it many times before. It it gives me some nostalgia too because it like just the amount of times I've seen it like over my life is absurd.
It's awesome.
It was the kind of quick background is that it was created by the original comics were created like in the 30s by this guy named Hergé. Or Erge, I don't know. He's like Belgian. He's a Belgian comic artist. And the whole story is like about like this like this like journalist kind of guy, and he explores or he like kind of like goes around like the world and like uh with like a lens on like random issues and stuff. But he also goes on little adventures.
And this is an animated film that came out in
2011.
2012.
Or, yeah,
2011.
I think so. Yeah, well, yeah.
Somewhere around there.
And yeah, and then he meets like this guy named Captain Haddock, and he has like, and then he also has like this dog named Snowy. But yeah, it's very interesting, and it's Steven Spielberg, and yeah, John Williams.
That's awesome.
It's like a family movie.
I guess you could say it is kind of like a family movie.
Fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, so why is it your number two, you think?
Just because like I personally enjoy it very much, and I get a lot of it's also like it is directed by Spielberg. It's like a very good movie.
High
Um,
quality.
the animation, like compared to like some of the other kind of and it weird like weirdly realistic like animated movies at the time, it doesn't look uncanny or weird.
Uncanny.
Yeah, it
Like the
doesn't look.
Polar Express?
Yeah, it actually does a pretty good job at not being too uncanny.
Well,
So it's very great.
that's awesome. My number two is gonna be another modern classic. It's gonna be the 2007 film No Country for Old Men, directed by the Coen brothers. So this is a film based off a novel by Cormac McCarthy, and it takes place in West Texas, where this uh, veteran Llewellyn Moss, he's hunting in the desert, kind of, but he discovers a drug deal gone wrong, and just there's all these dead guys because some big fight happened and there were no survivors. But at the site of this deal, there was a briefcase with $2 million in it, and it takes place in 1980. So, today that 2 million is even worth more, accounting for inflation and whatnot. But it's it's very the rest of the film pretty much goes as a cat and mouse chase as the cartel hired this hitman named Anton Chigurh. And Anton is my favorite character of the film. He's this villain who has very twisted morals, and he believes that he does nothing wrong and that he's just delivering people their own fates, kind of. And he doesn't even care about the money or the cartel. I mean, he just kind of does what he wants to because he thinks that Llewellyn is almost wronged him and that he thinks he's just delivering Llewellyn fate. And then behind that is the third main character, which is this old sheriff who's trying to catch Anton. So it's like this big three-way chase
Yeah,
where Llewellyn wants to, yeah. What?
I was gonna say I've seen the movie before. I really like the cinematography in it, like a lot.
Yeah.
Like in some of those scenes, like where they're like meeting each other, and there's no music either. Like it's very
Oh yeah,
raw.
that's something that is unique about this movie. There's no music in it at all ever. And that's so it makes it feel more real. Like there in all the scenes of like action, it's not like crazy. There's no weird fake explosions or anything. It's just kind of it feels more real than a lot of other movies, I think. And it
Hmm.
seems more realistic because the people act more real. Like stuff happens suddenly. Like you don't like I don't want to spoil it, but there's just stuff you don't expect to happen just happens. Like you can't control the future. It's one of the big messages of the movie. And the movie, what's something I like about a lot of movies is the messages they bring, and this one is a strong message of fate and stuff, and I think it's really cool.
Um, my personal number one is The Thing. It's a very interesting movie.
Hmm.
1982. There's two other ones. There's one that was made in 2011, and there's one that was made in the 30s, I think, or yeah, 30s or 40s or something. Um, and it's it's like a very good commentary on human nature, but it's basically it follows these scientists in like Antarctica. And there's this like wreckage that they find. Um, and then essentially this alien that can copy and assimilate
Like a
other
shapeshifter.
organisms. Yeah, it's like a shapeshifter, but it's like it like spreads almost, so there can be multiple of it at once. It kind of like spreads itself through different organisms. But it tries to
That
like
is
mimic
awesome.
people and dogs and stuff, and then it like it shows itself when like you're alone with it or something. So it just like it's very strategic and smart. It's a very dangerous organism, especially out in a secluded scientific base in like Antarctica. Um,
Oh,
so it's
it's interesting. It's
yeah.
like Among Us.
Well, yeah, because it's like it's a very good movie because it's like a commentary on like human nature and the way that like people, that they get very anxious and they're pointing fingers at each other and like they start doing like these blood test things. There's a lot of casualties, uh, and it
Wow.
just gets very crazy. It's very good.
Wow. So why is it all the way up there at number one? This 1982 film.
hmm it's at number one because I just really like its overarching message and like uh the whole story and just like theme of it. It's very unique, and it was
Hmm.
like originally like not well received because I guess like the people were just like, oh, it's too gory, like we can't do that. It's just there's so much stuff going on. But it's
Oh,
like over
another
time, it's
voice
like
there.
become more like you know uh
More awesome.
appraised.
Appraised,
Yeah.
of course. My number one, what I think is the best film I've seen, is gonna be Falling Down, a film by Joel Schumacher, released in 1993. It's not based off anything. I don't think. I think it's just standalone, just this story, and it follows a character by the name of Bill Foster, and his nickname is D. Fens. It's played by Michael Douglas. And Bill Foster, the movie starts where he's in traffic, and it takes place across Los Angeles on a hot summer's day. And he's in traffic, but it's terribly hot that day, and nothing's going his way. So he like kind of just gets out of his car, leaves it on the middle of the road, claiming that he's going home. And by home, he means he's going to his ex-wife's house where his daughter's birthday party is happening. But to get there, he goes on a somewhat violent uh, traverse through the city, and it's on foot, and he encounters many bad things, and he does many bad things as he makes his way across Los Angeles. And the whole time he's being followed after his many things are reported. He's being followed by this officer who's retiring on his last day, and this guy's played by Robert Duvall. His name is Prendergast, and Prendergast, he's he is kind of looked down on in the police station because he's seen as like just this old man who doesn't know what he's doing, kind of, and everyone doesn't really respect him. And he's like retiring, and they're all kind of making fun of him, but it's his final hurrah, kind of, to to do solve this case of defense. And Bill Foster, the many people he meets is one of them is this like he goes to this one place, and there's this evil neo-Nazi guy, and the neo-Nazi thinks that they're similar. He thinks that they have similar morals, and uh, Bill Foster is very offended by this, and he tells the neo-Nazi how they're nothing alike. But the film's really a societal message on how you can't always get what you want, and how the world isn't what it seems, and even if you think you've done everything right, you can still be the villain.
Well, it's like
And I think it's like a what?
I was gonna say it's like a commentary on the American
It's a
dream
common
and
well, it's a
like,
commentary on many things. It's a
well, yeah,
commentary on how the world isn't what it seems. It's a commentary on like how life isn't always fair, and how you can't just do whatever you want,
and like
and
perspectives too, because
how
like he thinks he's
yeah.
like
He
a
thinks
hero, but
he's a
then he's like the
righteous
bad guy.
hero,
Like they
but
think he's a bad
but
guy.
in the eye of everyone else, he's kind of just this kind of evil guy who's just destroying stuff around him. And at one point, like these like gang members are trying to kill him and stuff, and a lot of violence occurs on his pursuit, and it ends in a almost like a western duel, you could say. But I think it's very good.
All right. for some honorable mentions that didn't make our final
Yes.
cuts, you list yours. Like, what are yours?
One I really like is Joker 2019. I believe it won an Oscar. I just think the story's very good. There's some scenes I thought were well made. The acting is quite excellent in it. I think it's the one where it's like it's not like a normal superhero movie. Like I don't really care about that world. I don't care about the Batman world or anything, but I just think that movie by itself is good on its own. And that's what I like. It's like the origin story of a very famous character, arguably one of those famous villains of all time, and it's like kind of humanizes him, but it also explains some of the things that some other of his origin stories don't explain. It kind of feels more real than a lot of the superhero Batman stuff. It like feels more realistic. It takes place in a more real world. What's one of your honorable mentions?
Um, both Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2. Um, they're very unique movies. They're also Quentin Tarantino, like Pulp Fiction. Um, the action sequences in them are awesome. Uh, there's like uh very interesting characters, and like the costumes are pretty
Mm.
cool. Uh, and it's like it was like this group of people uh who are like fighting. Um,
I
yeah,
don't
I
know
don't
if we
know. It's
need to
very
go over it.
interesting. It's very interesting stuff.
Another one that I like. I mean, it's a bit more silly, and I don't know if it matches the quality of some of my top five, but They Live. It's an excellent film, I think, and it kind of has a lot of societal analogies to I think even the modern day. It's where pretty much these alien, almost like lizard people, kind of control the elites of the society, but there's these sunglasses that let ordinary people see who they are, and it follows this guy is like trying to stop them. He's like trying to infiltrate their ranks, kind of, as like these aliens have kind of controlled everything in the society, and like they brainwash people into believing what they say, and they're like everyone famous. They're all the actors, all the news anchors. It's crazy. It's kind of like some modern conspiracy theories, but I think it's just kind of like a fun movie.
Uh-huh. Okay, so for my second one, uh, I have Green Mile because the Green Mile is a great movie. I don't want to spoil it too much. Um, it's just very iconic. It's Tom Hanks. There's a lot of iconic scenes from it, but it's like
Yes.
basically death row. It's a really sad movie too, because it's like a lot of
Yeah, it's about
moral
like
dilemmas and whatnot.
the prisoner who's like tries to be good.
Well, yeah, and it's like up there like in terms of like being
Quality.
iconic and stuff with like you know, like I don't Forrest Gump. It's kind of like on that level of
Yeah.
yeah. All right,
Anyways, yeah, I think Green Mile is cool. But thank you for listening in to this episode of the talk about truly enjoyable movies.
this has been Dean Gross
And Sunil Misan
with
with
the
the premier
premier
opinion.
opinion.